top stories tonight. Rivers State Governor pledges to take decisive action against those responsible for setting 3 local government secretariats ablaze on Monday. Federal High Court reinstates Julius Abure as Labour Party's national chairman. Italian court jails 2 prosecutors for hiding evidence in Nigerian oil field case. Cameroonian government denies rumors of President Biya's death. Thank you for joining us. I'm Felicity Ezewike. Our coverage tonight begins in southern Nigeria as we stay with developments in Rivers State, where the state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has said that his administration will not fold its arms and watch sponsored political thugs run berserk, committing arson in the state. The governor therefore assured that working with the Nigerian police and the Directorate of State Services, DSS, measures will be taken to unravel those behind the recent burning of council secretariats at Ikwere, Emuoha, and Eleme local government areas with a view to making them account for their atrocities. Governor Fubara gave the assurances while swearing in 4 new commissioners into the Rivers State Executive Council at the Government House in Port Harcourt on Tuesday.
I want to also let the state know that what has happened after the election, we are not going to allow it to go uninvestigated. It has happened before, and after some weeks, some of our supporters were declared wanted to turn the story around. But this time around, I strongly believe with the support and cooperation of the Nigerian police, the director of DSS, we will unravel those behind the arson and make sure that they account for the atrocity.
Meanwhile, the Rivers State governor has inaugurated a judicial commission of inquiry to investigate the violence that recently erupted in various local governments of the state. According to the governor, the commission was long overdue, recalling that a similar incident occurred about a year ago, which he chose to overlook. Governor Fubara also noted the troubling similarities between the current situation and the events that unfolded before the 2013 and 2014, which were marked by courtroom disruptions, arson, and assassinations. The commission will work on a 9-point mandate and is expected to submit its report in 1 month. Staying with the political situation in Rivers, we can confirm at this time that the newly deployed Commissioner of Police to Rivers State, Bala Mustafa, has assumed duty as the 46th Commissioner of Police in the oil-rich Niger Delta State. CP Mustafa, who took over from Olatunji Disu, outlined his plans for the command and residents of Rivers State while addressing journalists at the State Police Command in Port Harcourt. He said his primary objective is to swiftly restore calm in the local government areas where incidents of violence and arson have occurred in recent days, emphasizing his commitment to work collaboratively with state and non-state actors as well as critical stakeholders to address these challenges. The CP added that he has reviewed the current security situation and outlined his vision and strategies to ensure the safety and security of communities and residents across the state. He also highlighted that his top priority is to restore peace to all 23 local government areas of the state.
Proactive security measures and make a stop to all these incessant attacks and secure not only secretariats, but secure the state generally. We want to assure the public that they can go home and sleep with their 2 eyes closed. We are going to hit the ground. We are already on ground. We are going to do the needful, secure all those burning areas, in place security, proactive security measures, through what? Through aggressive patrol and confidence building patrol. By doing that, we are assuring the public of their safety, and we are at the same time securing those places. So we are not taking any chances, or we are not taking any political decision. We are taking a constitutional decision, a policing decision to ensure safety of lives and properties.
In Rivers State, following the ongoing political crisis that has led to the burning of some local government secretariat complexes, some pro-Fubara supporters have said they will occupy the offices until normalcy is restored across the affected local government areas. This is coming as the newly deployed Commissioner of Police to the state, Mustafa, pledged to swiftly restore calm in the local government areas where incidents of violence have occurred in recent days. News Center's correspondent, Austin Azu, who is monitoring developments in the state, brings us these details.
It's day 2 since the newly sworn-in chairmen and councillors in Rivers State, absorption of their offices was marred by violence, gunshots, and the burning down of some local government secretariat complexes in the state. Meanwhile, the newly deployed Commissioner of Police to the state, Bala Mustafa, who assumed office on Tuesday, assured the residents of Rivers State of peace and security, even as he pledged to swiftly restore calm in the local government areas where incidents of violence and arson have occurred.
We are proactively taking action, secure those places, and implement security measures to safeguard life and property of Rivers State, as well as those councils.
At the Port Harcourt City Abure, some youths were on the ground alongside some security agencies, believed to be there to secure the secretariat and its facilities.
And this day too, as you can see, we woke up with a surprising visit with gunshots. Some persons came thinking we are off guard, but we stood guard to make sure that the council is steadfast and resolute. We made sure we chased them away. Our security persons, the civil defense and the police, took charge to make sure that we chased the men. They came with 2 vehicles.
Actually, we could not identify them, but at least the state government and the good people of Rivers State know who their actual sponsors is or are. Is one man that is sponsoring them in Rivers State. And in our local government here, they are being sponsored by some persons through the one man. And his name is no other than the FCT Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
At Ikwere Ejire Secretariat, a truck of the Nigerian police is stationed at the gate, while supporters of the governor occupied the premises. New Central News crew were, however, conducted round the burnt offices and legislative chambers.
Things are avoidable because, come to think of it, whose money will be used to rebuild this? Is it individuals that will contribute? They won't contribute money. When the monthly allocation comes, they will take money from there and rebuild this place and repair all the damage that had taken place. That money would have been utilized to solve 1 or 2 problems for the people. You and I know how tough it has been for Nigerians today. And yet, instead of going forward, we are swimming backward like a crab.
And as the women, they are gathering me here. Yes. Every one of them who did this evil will remain in their house, one after the other. In Jesus' name, amen.
Sincerely, nobody is happy. Everybody is a casualty because even if nobody died, but the Kure people, they are casualties. And that is why you see we have come out in our numbers to come down here. We have decided to live here. We'll sleep here, we'll cook here, we'll eat here. We'll not go away from here till normalcy is restored. Because we don't want the hoodlums to come back here again and cut away the remaining things.
These people you are seeing here have pledged not to leave this facility until their demands are met, which includes restoring normalcy to this particular facility you are seeing here. But how soon is soon that peace will return to this area? Days ahead will tell. In Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, I'm Austin Azu.
Many thanks, Austin. To discuss the situation in Rivers State, I'm joined by Comrade Solomon Lenu, former spokesperson, Coalition of Rivers State Civil Society Organization. Thank you very much for joining us, Comrade. Let's start with, you were a former spokesperson, so I believe you're still, in the thick with civil society in the state. What is the general response that is being presented collectively by civil societies on the crisis in Rivers State?
Well, thank you for having me. And then this has been a very, very trying times for the good people of Rivers State. And it is quite unfortunate that time and time again, year after year, after each political cycle, we keep returning back to this same position where we are right now. Of course, in the civil society, we came out and then, gave certain conditions that we wanted to see, with regards to the local government election that just ended, which to a large extent the governor of Rivers State or the government of Rivers State actually complied with. And it became even more worrying that at the end of the day, after an election had been conducted, winners had been announced, and then when it was time for them to return back to office, we saw, people who are supposed to be, leaders conducting themselves in such a way that suggests that they have no love, for Rivers State, and that's very, very strange, because like the picture that you were showing there on your screen before, this discussion.
All right, go ahead. Let's, in the interest of time, just talk to us about this commission of inquiry that has been set up by the governor. Is it possible to get an unbiased report in 1 month's time? Because it seems the mandate covers beyond the current crisis in the state.
Well, the issues in Rivers State are not very difficult issues, because, of course, the perpetrators or the people who are to be investigated are people who are known to us. The actors and the key players in this crisis are people that are known. So, but let us stay with the election that just ended, and then the aftermath of the election and the things that we are seeing across our local government at the moment. Of course, the people and the key actors to this crisis are known faces. They are people that we know. And then, if that be the case, of course, coming to a conclusion or investigation into the incidents that has happened would not be a very difficult one. So, yes, I believe that 1 month is enough time for the panel of inquiry to come up with their submission. And that's for that. So I think it is not a very difficult thing. But then it is also important for us to put it on record for the world to know that whatever is happening in Rivers State today, whichever crisis we are having today, is being masterminded by no other person than the FCT minister. And this is the person who the state of Rivers has given everything that he has as a human being today. Every offices that he has ever occupied were made possible, by the patronage of Rivers State. But today is carrying on in such a way that seems to suggest that he does not have, any love or concern for the state, whether the state lives or not, or whether the state is burned down. He doesn't care, and that's not state-manly. So we also want to use...
I think caution should be taken here. Investigation. There are no clear evidence to point fingers and call names. I know that's your perspective, but I believe that we must follow the due process.
In December of 2023, at the opening of the legal year of the Rivers State Judiciary, the FCT minister made a statement, and I quote, said, "Although I know that I may not win in this crisis against Kubara, but I will make him suffer." He made that statement to the hearing of the whole nation and the entire world. So and also, when you say that you make Kubara suffer, Kubara today represents the vast majority of Rivers State. So if you're making Kubara suffer, what you invariably are doing or is doing is to make Rivers State suffer.
Because I'd hoped for us to talk more about the presence of the new Commissioner of Police as well. but we're time constrained. So I'll just have to say thank you very much, Solomon, for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Coming up, Italian court jails 2 prosecutors for hiding evidence in Eni and Shell Nigeria oil field case. That's after the break. Join us again. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Rivers State Governor pledges to take decisive action against those responsible for setting 3 local government secretariats ablaze on Monday. Federal High Court reinstates Julius Abure as Labour Party's national chairman. Italian court jails 2 prosecutors for hiding evidence in Nigerian oil field case. Cameroonian government denies rumors of President Biya's death. The Federal High Court in Abuja has reinstated Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party. The court upheld the validity of the party's 2024 National Convention held in Nnewi, where Abure was re-elected. Justice Emeka Wite ruled that the convention adhered to all legal procedures and directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize Abure's leadership. This decision comes after INEC had previously refused to acknowledge Abure, claiming that the March 2024 convention violated the Nigerian Constitution and the Electoral Act. However, the court's ruling now affirms Abure as the legitimate leader of the Labour Party. Let's discuss this now with the help of a lawyer and a member of the Labour Party, Monday Mawa. Monday, thank you for giving us your time. Let's just kick off with this new ruling. On the one hand, INEC initially was against recognizing him. Now the court has mandated. What is the validity of this ruling now, and how will it impact events in the Labour Party going forward?
Well, thank you. The point is that it's not even a ruling, it's the judgment for the court. And the implication of that is a confirmation to what some of us we've been saying for quite some time now. I remember, I think a couple of weeks ago, I was in this program and I told them that there are the Labour Party is marred with so much faction. However, despite those factions, that of Abure seem to be more in tune now with the law, because the anchor person asked me that as at the moment, who is the leader of Labour Party? And I told him, Abure, sadly in the sense that I'm not in support of Abure, but for the fact that Abure managed to conduct a convention, that convention in the eye of the law remains valid until set aside. That was what my position a couple of weeks ago, and which position the court has stamped today. The truth is this: I think INEC seems to be overrating itself. And with the greatest respect, there are fine lawyers in INEC in their legal department. What I want to presume is that those in the political department of INEC don't seek advice from the legal department, or they give advice and they normally refuse to abide by the advice. Because INEC, by the tenet of Electoral Act, is only an observer in any party activities. Yes, the Electoral Act, every political party for any of its meeting has a duty to notify INEC, not give INEC a notice of not less than 21 days. Now, but having given INEC that notice of 21 days, whether INEC now decide to attend or not is exclusively at their discretion. So no political party now has the power to now begin to put rope around INEC, the neck of the INEC officials, and begin to drag them in to attend their political meetings. So because the argument of INEC over the period has been that, the convention held by Abure-led faction in Nnewi, we did not attend. And so because we did not attend, it is not valid.
Okay, are you expecting a response
misinterpretation of the law?
Will you be expecting a response from INEC or further litigation from other members of the party?
Definitely, INEC will go to court. Unfortunately, my advice for them is that if they decide to go to court, they are going to waste their money. Not just their money, they're going to waste taxpayers' money because first, they are acting as busybody in this case. Why do I call them busybody? The issue that borders on Labour Party does not concern INEC. INEC is only an umpire. Now, but what they now do these days is that when they see that there's one big figure in the other side, they tend to sway their way to the other side. The position with INEC is that, oh, Peter Obi did not attend the convention. Stakeholders did not, the stakeholder did not attend the convention. That is not the business of anybody. Peter Obi is not the Labour Party. And so, as long as the Abure-led faction, which I'm also fighting against, gave notice, the duly notice to INEC, the convention remains valid, and INEC has no power to say we are not going to recognize it.
All right, before I talk about stakeholders, before I talk about the stakeholders of the party, maybe the caretaker committee, I'd like you to, for a lot of people, I'm asking you this because you're a member of the Labour Party as well as a legal practitioner. Could you demystify the maze that is Labour Party faction for us, if you can, in maybe a minute? Which faction is which? Who leads which? Because as it is, there is, you know, very huge confusion as to what constitutes a Labour Party leadership today in Nigeria. Sincerely
speaking, you are correct. If anybody's, the Labour Party today is like this what we call these beans, cake beans, or what they akara, in the local part they call it akara. Once you drop it into the oil, it's scattered to different direction. Labour Party is like that today. Now, first, we have the Julius Abure-led faction. Then we have the Lamidi Apapa-led faction. Then, not too long ago, we heard about another man, one Mr. Kalitu Sokafo, who is now so claim that he's the authentic national chairman of the Labour Party. The faction is there. And while that was ongoing, the Nigerian Labour Congress surprisingly woke up one morning and said they are going to take over their party. Strangely, because that is the first time I'll be hearing that a Nigerian Labour Congress will be saying that they are the owner of a political party that is already registered, contrary to all known law that deals with registration of an organization. But I don't want to go into that. Now, they set up what they call the National Transition Committee, NTC. That one is there. Why that was still ongoing, Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of our party for the 2023 election, and the governor of Abia State, Mr. Alex Oti, convoked a meeting in Abia State. And from that meeting, they set up another one, which they call caretaker committee, that is headed or to be headed by Senator Nenadi. And I argued that at this point, my dear, we are having more than 5 factions in Labour Party. But all I expected from the beginning was that every one of us would have come to a round table to discuss. But because of the selfish interest of
a possibility that can happen, considering where you are at now? In 30 seconds, I'm told we're out of time for this conversation. But is a round table dialogue possible at this juncture in Labour Party life?
It is possible. That is, we must learn to submit ourselves to constituted authority, no matter how highly placed you are. Nobody is bigger than the constitution of the Labour Party. So we must put aside our ego. Whether you're a former presidential candidate, you're a governorship candidate, or whatever, we are all equal before the law. As far as Labour Party constitution is concerned, every member has a stake.
All right, Monday, we'll have to leave it there for now. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's head on now to Plateau State, where the state's Independent Electoral Commission has expressed its readiness to conduct a credible local government election. Speaking in Jos during the last press briefing before the October 9 local council election, chairman of the State Commission, urged journalists to maintain high level of professionalism while covering the exercise to avoid sensationalism. He maintained that with the Commission's voter verification system replacing beavers and about 21,000 ad hoc staff, the exercise will be a success. News Center's Chizobanyo tells us more.
Plateau is one of the 6 model states the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria selected to pilot key electoral reforms in the sector. Chairman of Plateau, Planji Chishak, says the commission under his administration is poised to maintain as well as surpass the expectations.
I'm excited to announce that we are fully prepared for the upcoming elections. Our readiness was recently tested through successful mock elections held on September 28, 2024 across 6 selected local government areas in the 3 senatorial zones: Wase, Shandam, Pangshin, Mangu, Riom, and Jos North. I am proud to share again that Plateau has signed a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the state tertiary institution for the display of voter registers across 4,989 polling units in the state. This is the first time in history that such a courageous step has been made. Sensitive materials are being distributed and are secured, and our logistic arrangements for the distributions are almost completed.
Speaking to newsmen on the October 9 local government poll in Plateau State, Equity International Initiative and the United States Institute for Peace said they are hopeful the exercise will be credible.
So we're using this opportunity to call on PLISEC, security agencies, political parties, candidates, and civil society organizations and make the following plea and calls that Equity International Initiative calls on eligible voters, especially the youth demography, to turn out en masse and exercise their franchise and demonstrate resilience in securing their vote to enjoy true dividends of democracy.
You cannot talk of accountability if you are not transparent. The media, the civil society represent some of the key vehicles for us that will be able to validate whatever transparency that you are making. I think for me, that's basically what we are praying for, to have elections that can really be used as a model for other states across the country.
Plateau State Police Public Relations Officer Alfred Alabo assured that with over 8,000 police officers deployed for the local council poll and the restriction of movement from midnight of Tuesday to 6 p.m. of Wednesday, the safety of lives and property throughout the period of the grassroots election will be maintained.
Now, with these activities going on here, one would expect that Plateau has done everything possible to ensure a hitch-free and successful exercise. From the Plateau head office in Jos, for News Central, Chizoba Anyowi.
An Italian court has sentenced 2 Malian prosecutors, Fabio Pasquale and Sergio Spadaro, to 8 months in prison for withholding evidence in a major corruption case involving Eni and Shell. The case centered on a $1.3 billion oil field acquisition in Nigeria. The court, which oversees Milan's judiciary, found that the prosecutors failed to file key documents, including a video from an external lawyer that could have helped Eni's defense. In 2021, Eni, Shell, and other defendants were acquitted despite criticisms of the prosecutors. The court ruled that Pasquale and Spadaro violated the defendants' rights by omitting critical evidence. The lawyers sought acquittal, arguing no rule mandated filing the documents. In a heartwarming celebration in Lagos, Shingo Wigwe marked his 90th birthday with a Thanksgiving service that brought together friends, family, and community members to honor a life of service and devotion. Sir Wigwe was a senior lecturer at the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria's Engineering Training School in Lagos and a former Director General of the NTA. News Center's Bettina Uweli reports.
The atmosphere was filled with joy and gratitude as friends, family, and congregants gathered in church for a special Thanksgiving service in honor of Pastor Shingo Wigwe. The vibrant sounds of hymns and praise reflected the spirit of the occasion, celebrating not only a milestone birthday, but also a life dedicated to service and faith. The service included heartfelt tributes and messages from prominent figures in society. Pastor Wigwe has touched countless lives with his teachings and guidance, serving as a source of strength for many. This was evident in the large number of attendees who came to honor him and give thanks for his incredible journey.
Many of us, we came, we sat here. We couldn't even imagine what the mood we were supposed to have. But the mood the Lord wants us to have is a mood of thanksgiving. We are celebrating the faithfulness and the goodness of God.
Longevity is a blessing. Don't underestimate what you can still do as grandparents. Because I got the benefit for 18 years, for 16 years, even after my father turned 90. So that's my message to you. Use those extra years very well.
I think for me, the most touching of the qualities that he has is his humility. For a man of such great accomplishment, a man that has been, through his life, moving in the corridors of power, have moved with the movers and shakers. And anybody he sees, he comes down to your level and has a conversation, respecting you first as a person. Your age, educational quality, your wealth is irrelevant in the Wigwe household. Everybody is important.
With joy in their hearts, attendees left the service feeling renewed and inspired by Pastor Wigwe's remarkable journey and unwavering faith. A true testament to a life well lived.
I'll call him a daddy. I was very close to Herbert and the family, and we just thank God for his life, for what he has done and what he's still doing in his life.
I wish him longer life. I pray that he will finish well and finish strong.
Congratulations to Pastor Shingle Wigwe on this milestone birthday. In Lagos, for News Central, I'm Bettina Nwi.
Indeed, happy 90th birthday to Wigwe. Still ahead, Cameroon's government denies rumor of President Biya's death. Says he is in good health. We'll tell you more when we come back. Stay with us. Let's now head over to Central Africa, where the Cameroonian government has denied rumors about the death of 91-year-old President Paul Biya, dismissing them as pure fantasy. Concerns arose after Biya, who has not been seen in public since early September, missed the recent summit in France, fueling speculation about his well-being. Government spokesperson René Sadi clarified that Biya is in good health and had been on a private visit to Europe after attending the China-Africa Forum in Beijing. He is expected to return to Cameroon soon. Opposition parties and civil society groups have demanded official updates on his condition, while African leaders expressed concern about potential instability in Cameroon if Biya were no longer in power. Outside the African continent, both Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump are trying to grab headlines in the run-up to the U.S. election on November 5. Both were out on the campaign trail on Monday, with Harris sitting down for another major interview and Trump commemorating the October 7th attacks. The News Central, Afia Hagen has more.
Those are all issues that
Vice President Kamala Harris faced tough questions about how she'd pay for her economic plans, whether Democrats were too slow to enact border security measures, how she'd confront Russia over its war in Ukraine, and more in a wide-ranging interview.
Donald Trump, if he were president.
The Democratic presidential nominee's sit-down with CBS comes amid a media blitz that is also putting Harris in front of friendlier interviewers with more targeted audiences. She told 60 Minutes that if elected president, she would not meet Vladimir Putin for peace talks if Ukraine was not also represented.
Ukraine must have a say in the future of Ukraine. Donald Trump, if he were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. He talks about, oh, he can end it on day one. You know what that is? It's about surrender.
Republican U.S. presidential nominee Donald Trump was also invited to 60 Minutes. He accepted, but later changed his mind and declined, according to CBS. Trump's campaign disputed that he ever agreed to be interviewed. His spokesman, Stephen Chung, called it fake news. Meanwhile, Trump has warned that Americans should never forget the October 7th attacks on Israel by Hamas militants as he paid tribute to the victims at a campaign event. Trump was speaking to a crowd of a few hundred at an event at his Trump National Doral Golf Club in southern Florida to commemorate the first anniversary of the attacks. He went on to claim that the October 7th attack would never have happened if he was president. In the race to see if America gets its first woman president or a second Donald Trump term, it's all about the candidates trying to grab headlines on the campaign trail. For News Central, I'm Afia Hagen.
Let's go over now to our business desk for today's business news.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Nigeria's foreign direct investment for the second quarter of 2024 has dropped to $29.83 million, marking the lowest level recorded based on available data up to 2013. This is according to data from the latest capital importation reports by the National Bureau of Statistics. The FDI figure represents a steep decline of 65.33% compared to the $86.03 million recorded in quarter 2 of 2023. It also shows a significant reduction of 74.97% from the $119.18 million reported in the preceding quarter, quarter 1, 2024. A member of the House of Representatives and chairman of the Committee on House Service, Daniel Amos, has announced that the African Carbon Market Initiative estimates that Nigeria could generate more than $500 million annually by 2030, while supporting over 3 million jobs through reduced carbon emissions. Leading a debate on a motion of Tuesday's plenary session, Amos highlighted the potential for significant green funding, citing advocacy organizations such as the Green Climate Fund, the Global Environment Facility, and the Adaptation and Climate Investment Funds. He noted that the total value of green funds available to Nigeria from carbon emission control efforts could reach $23 billion by the year 2024. Meanwhile, Kenya's central bank delivered its biggest interest rate cuts since the pandemic to help boost economic growth after inflation eased to a 12-year low. The Monetary Policy Committee reduced the key rate to 12% from 12.75%. Governor Kamala said in an emailed statement on Tuesday, only one of 8 economists polled by Bloomberg had expected a cut of this size. 3 of the economists forecast a move to 12.25%. 3 saw 12.5%, and 1 expected rates to stay on hold. According to the Apex Bank governor, the CBN decided to act as overall inflation has declined further and is expected to remain below the midpoint of the target range in the near term. Consumer prices rose an annual 3.6% in September from 4.4% in August, and that is well below the 5% midpoint where the central bank prefers to anchor expectations. That's all on business news. I am Lekon Onobanjo.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Up next is sports news.
Sports update brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Nigeria's under-20 men's national football team, the Flying Eagles, have stepped up their preparations for the forthcoming WAFU B under-20 tournament in Togo under coach Julius Abure's guidance. In a bid to fine-tune their strategies, the team had a feel of the Remo Star Stadium in Ekene on Tuesday evening, where they underwent an intense 2-hour recovery session. Coach Zuberu led the technical crew overseeing the training session, which focused on revitalizing the players. The Flying Eagles will stay in Ekene for 1 week before traveling to Lomé for the WAFU Championship, where they are drawn in Group B with Burkina Faso and Côte d'Ivoire. The tournament will get underway on Thursday, the 17th of October. Super Eagles caretaker coach Augustin Eguavon has admitted that Libya will prove to be a strong opposition for his team, but he is optimistic his team will get the job done. Nigeria will be without Galatasaray striker Victor Osimhen, who sustained an injury and was missing from the squad. Nigeria will entertain Libya in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match day 3 encounter in Uyo on Friday. The Super Eagles sit at the summit of Group D with 4 points from 2 games. Libya, on the other hand, occupy bottom spot in the group with 1 point from the same number of games. Augustin Eguavon rules the missed opportunity to have Victor Osimhen feature for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
It's a collective effort. It's a team sport. It's not individual sport. We're in touch, and we can understand him. He can understand us. It's a huge miss. We all know that how important and impactful Osimhen can be. But we have other players who can step into his shoes. He's here, not here physically, but I'm 100% sure he's here spiritually with us.
Chelsea and Nottingham Forest have been charged by the Football Association for failing to control their players after a mass confrontation during Sunday's Premier League game at Stamford Bridge. No action will be taken against Nicholas Jackson after the Chelsea forward appeared to slap Forest's Morato as players from both sides clashed towards the end of the match, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Tempers had flared after Forest's Nico Williams had appeared to push defender Marco Kurela off the pitch. The incident involving Jackson and Morato was reviewed by the video assistant referee at the time. Both clubs have until Thursday to respond to the charge. NBA Africa on Tuesday announced an ambitious plan to build 100 outdoor basketball courts in Kenya as it seeks to grow the game in the country. The 100 basketball courts planned for Kenya are part of a commitment to build 1,000 courts in Africa over the next decade. NBA Africa will partner with a global non-profit organization to build the courts as well as hold a development program for coaches and teachers in Nairobi, Kenya and Kigali, Rwanda. The announcement was made at a press conference in Nairobi. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoko.
Sports Update brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Entertainment news is next.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
Welcome to Entertainment Tonight.
The 2024 MTV EMA's nominations are in, and the Nigerian music industry is making a strong showing, with Ira Star leading the Nigerian pack. Ira secured 4 nominations, including New Best Artist, Best Afrobeat Act, Best African Act, and Best Push. In the Best New Artist category, Ira Star will go up against fellow rising stars such as Benson Bourne, Chaperone, Teddy Swim, and Tyler, amongst others. Tyler, who has been a breakout act this year, is also one of the favorites in the Best Afrobeats category, where she is nominated alongside heavyweights like Burna Boy, Thames, Rema, Ashake, and Ira Star herself. Nigerians will be watching closely as Ira Star competes in both the Best African Act and Best Afrobeats Act category, hoping to see her continue her rise in the global music scene. The full nomination list features some of the world's biggest stars across multiple genres, with Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Billie Eilish leading several categories. The 2024 MTV EMAs promises to be an exciting night for African music and the global industry at large. Grammy-winning singer-songwriter Sam Smith has teamed up with the iconic trance music Beverly Glenn Copeland to reimagine the beloved track Ever New for the upcoming compilation album Transa. The album, supported by the AIDS HIV relief charity organization Red Hot, aims to raise awareness for trans and non-binary issues. The updated version of Ever Now features productions by Mark Yoshizumi and Dust Raid, and is a touching tribute to renewal and connection. In addition to this exciting collaboration, fans can also look forward to new music from Quiet Storm Queen Sade, who is set to release Lionheart, her first new song in 6 years, as part of the Transa compilation. This 46-track album features contributions from numerous prominent artists and underscores a collective commitment to support the trans community. And that is all on Entertainment Tonight.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that's all for tonight, but before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has pledged to take decisive action against those responsible for setting 3 local government secretariats ablaze on Monday. Federal High Court reinstates Julius Abure as Labour Party's national chairman. Italian court jails 2 prosecutors for hiding evidence in Nigeria oil field case. Cameroonian government denies rumors of Paul Biya's demise. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. Have a good night.